Hello and welcome. Today we'll be making the main character from the Doc McStuffin cartoon series, and now on to the video. This cutter's on the big side. It is a Bear 3D set by Wilton, and now I'm just brushing on some royal icing onto the surface to get a nice background. Once the icing has had time to dry, I'm positioning my head template onto the surface, which I will be airbrushing. I automatically get the outer perimeter eyes and other detail. And now I'm starting with the first thing, her hairband, because I want to add sanding sugar to it. And I just have to color in that whole hairband area, pour on the sanding sugar, and then we can move on. If you add the sanding sugar at the end, you're going to have to wait for all the other icings to dry. That's why I'm doing it at the beginning. And now I have my handy bead tray to pour the sanding sugar back into the container. Starting off with the face area, I've mixed up my royal icing and I'm outlining her eyes along her hairline and all around the head, and I'm flooding that. I want to get a nice smooth finish. This is her skin. She's a young girl, not an old lady. We want everything nice and smooth. Once you've leveled out the icing with your needle tool, give it a good shake and that will make the icing nice and smooth. Now that that's had time to crust, I'm coming in the mouth area and filling that in pink. Once the face and this little pink area has had time to crust, you can come in and add the other facial details. Here is a little jelly bean shaped nose, and I'm adding some lips, which I'm shaping with my needle tool. And here's an edible marker. I'm just adding a few freckles, and then I'm grabbing my petal dust and adding some blush. The blush always adds to the faces. If you want to avoid a really heavy lash line on the cookie, I suggest you do it before you add the actual eyeballs, since you can come in and paint on the inside of the line, and then when you add the white of the eye, the line will be greatly reduced. This is a young girl. You don't want to have a really fat eyeliner. You don't want her to look like an adult kind of Tammy Faye Baker look. You just want her to look cute. I'm using a paintbrush and edible food paint. You might find it easier to use a marker. I'm going to let the lashes and the eyebrows dry a little bit, so I'm working on the hair, just outlining and flooding that whole hair area. You can give it a shake, same as the face, to smooth it out. And now for her pigtails, I'm starting by the end. I'm just doing a dot shape. The great thing about the silhouette stencil there, I get to see exactly how big to make each of those little sections. I'm going to then add the actual braids section by section so that they're separate and they don't all melt together. So I'm letting each section crust before moving on to the next to make sure that I get a nice separation. It makes it look like a real braid. And now I'm adding the little elastics and flower on her hairband. Now I'm adding her eyes. I have the white icing and I'm filling that area in. Make sure it's nice and smooth and let that dry completely. So we managed to finish all the icing on day one. The cookie has dried overnight, and now I'm using a brown edible marker to draw on the pupils. And then once that's done, I'm using the same black edible paint I used for the lashes and the eyebrows, and I'm drawing the center of the eye, and then with some white food gel, I'm just adding a little dot of reflection to the eye. And if you want, you can, add a little bit of color to the lip area, but that's entirely up to you. Like I said before, this is a young girl. And here are the completed cookies. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.